The equipment that they have right now has evolved over time. It's one of the few companies that you can find right now that has a compressor unit that has all the experience of a company that's been around for many, many years, but also has evolved in a certain way. Yeah, of course. All right. So, what? All right. Let's talk about the suppliers right now. So, in my perspective, if you should be, let me try to say here. If you're looking for a partner right now, if your only limitation under these conditions that you have specifically, where the kind of stations you're looking for, fixed stations, the kind of public station, 2 to 4 dispensers, this kind of station that in a certain level you can maybe upgrade in the case you need it. If the only limitation were to be those ones without the increased advantage of the exemptions from Europe, I would highly recommend to you guys going to clean energy fuels, to clean energy compression. That was before the joint ventures they have and the acquisitions. They were IMW equipment, and the thing is, it's pretty simple. The equipment that they have right now has evolved over time. It's one of the few companies that you can find right now that has a compressor unit, a compression box, let's say, that has all the experience of a company that's been around for many, many years, but also has evolved in a certain way. Something that other companies, for example, like Angie, does not have at this point, because they have remained exactly the same for many, many years. So in the case of IMW, that would be a super interesting partner because they have the experience that many others have, but they also put in the effort of putting in a machine that it's so well built and have so few mistakes. That's something to take into account, and something that many manufacturers don't have actually in the terms of the compressor unit, right? So that's something I will be looking for, this kind of innovation in the design of the equipment. One thing is, of course, the machine itself. I believe that most of the manufacturers build a machine that compress well natural gas. That's a great job, but the peripherals around the compressor unit, the placement of the parts, the easiness of maintenance, that kind of stuff, well thought stuff, you can find it a lot in the IMW compressors. That what is more compelling to me. All right, leaving that behind. If we want to focus in, for example, in low lower, let's say a lower scale, in that scale of maybe near 2 dispensers, smaller station, smaller equipment, less expensive equipment. But in the case that you want to start small in some stations, I would recommend to you to go ahead and look for Aspro. Those guys are from Argentina, and it's a as well. It's a company with a lot of experience, and they also put in a lot of effort into building their units. And they have some good products in that smaller base. So if you're walking with maybe one even or 2 dispensers, 3 dispensers, that they have an equipment that it's super cost effective. Maybe they have not redesigned as much these past 5 years. Let's say they have an equipment that has maybe 10 years, but that kind of design and process for that equipment, it should be the greatest fit for smaller stations. That's something to take into consideration as pro in that case. So yeah.
Despite that, we don't have a lot of experience in this area here in Egypt, and in the CNG business. but we have tried to grab some information about the players on the ground. And we got some names that they got some orders over the past years, or even they participated in some tenders, and they are known here in Egypt. Most of them, as we said it from Italy, we have Safi, Graf, those from Italy, and we have IMW from Canada, Kraus from the States, and Astro from Argentina. There are the players now in the market.
So you have I will have only two cases, like two options for you guys, and it will be my recommendation for for the experience that I have. So in the first place, I would look for this partner. It's super interesting because they also put a little effort into redesigning the internals of the compressors. It's they have a product that it looks really sturdy and compact in itself, and it works really good for starting stations, for small to medium stations. And it's a company, Cubo Gas. They are manufacturing in Italy as well, and I believe that you don't have many options around Europe itself. There are some compressors, the manufacturers in Germany, for example, but I haven't had many customers or references in those cases, rather than maybe a couple cases in Spain, uh, for example, with Bauer compressors. But they kind of got off the market, as I've seen the developments in Spain, in France, and anywhere else. I'm not seeing very much German compressors. But in that case, with Cubo Gas, they're doing an amazing job. I had the chance to work with them in with those equipment in Chile, where we had a couple of compressors of that brand. And the interesting thing here is they have an amazing team of support, say international support, and the equipment, it's really simple, really off the bat. It's a working equipment, super silent. In that case, I would recommend you guys to go ahead and see what Cubo Gas is bringing to the table, because they have the economical advantage, or the exemption, let's say, advantage from Europe, and they also have this product that fits really well into new stations that have maybe 2 to 4 dispensers, that kind of small station. And they can serve you as well with the dispenser equipment. They work well with as many as all the others, compressor equipment. They work well with any dispenser, but they have a really interesting dispensing units. And the control part, it's something they have been preparing a lot. Let's say the SCADA kind of equipment, where you can interact with the equipment remotely. That could be a plus for you guys as well. And in that case, Cubo Gas, I think that checks many boxes. They're a great team. And they also preserve that kind of range, maybe in the middle of, in terms of prices, maybe they're in the middle of Aspro and maybe Clean Energy. They kind of more in the small to medium stations. They also have equipment to larger sizes, but I would recommend them very much for those medium stations. That will be a great fit. Just take a look at them, and see if they could be a great match for you. Sorry,
Yes.
my screen went off. Hold on. All right. I don't know why. All right. So the other one, you were mentioning, Ahmet. It was this player. I would recommend it to go to the medium to large stations. Of course, if you're only contacting a few of them, please contact them as well. And it's the company for Novogas, because they've been around a lot. I mean, they have not, in my perspective, they have not being one of the largest players, not having this big market share, for example, that you can find in companies like IMW, or maybe in companies like Aspro. They have a lot of market share around the world, but they have stock uh, producing machines. They have
Yeah.
been a key player in some cases. I have a couple of
Yeah.
friends around France. They are working a lot, and the thing is that their equipment starts in that range, from the mid size to the big sizes,